Hello everyone, welcome to a new series called Soloing Strategies, and in this I try and break down a few concepts that you can use in your soloing. Now, today's lesson is based on a Blackstratblues song called Little Rascal, and in the solo section for this song, which you just heard, I'm going through a few chord changes, namely A major, F sharp minor, F, G, and D minor. Now, the key to actually soloing through these changes is not just sticking to one scale. We have to mix scales in this case. So for the A major chord and the F sharp minor chord, we use the key of A major, which is. And now for the other bit, which is F, G, and D minor, we use the A minor scale. Now, there are a few concepts to mixing the two scales. Now, if you look at your A major scale and your A minor scale, there are a few notes in common. The first note, which is the A, the second note, which is the B, the fourth note, which is the D, and the fifth note, which is an E. Those four notes are in common. Now, the ones which are different are the thirds and the sixths and the sevenths. So what we need to do is take the common notes, which is the A, B, D, and E, and use them as jumping points between the two scales. It's like if you've got two countries at war and you want to travel from one country to the other, you have to go from one to a neutral country and then from there back to, the second one. So if you take those notes, the 1, the 2, the 4, and the 5, you can use those notes as common notes to go between the two scales. Now I'll play the scales over the chord changes and we'll have a listen. Just the basic scales over the chord changes. Something like that, so you can kind of get the idea of the major scale working over the first two chords and then the minor scale working over the other part of the chord progression. Now, what I'm going to do is play very simply, and you can kind of hear the transition points. Now, if you take each chord and look at its component chords, now for the A, you've got A, C sharp, and E as your A major triad. For F sharp, you've got F sharp, A, and C sharp as your F sharp minor triad. For F, you've got F, A, and C. G, you've got G, B, and D. And for D minor, you've got D, F, and A. Okay, so now if you look at the minor thirds or the major thirds of each chord, for A, you've got C sharp. For F sharp minor, you've got A. For F, you've got A again. So you can actually look at this A note as a good note to go between the F sharp minor and the F. Okay, now for the G, you've got B, and for D minor, you've got F again. Okay, so the whole thing is basically you look at the thirds and sometimes the roots and the fifths as the strongest notes to outline the chord. So for A, you can get that C sharp, which then works well over the F sharp minor. And then for the F, you can go from A for the F to B for the G to F for the D minor chord. So what I'm trying to do is basically create tiny melodies that then lead into notes which are strong over each particular chord. Okay, so I'll just do another pass over this, and again I'm going to play very simply and see if we can get something useful out of it. Okay. Things like that. So what I suggest you do is make a backing track over a chord progression like this, and see if you can actually use the two scales and use the common notes to go between the two scales. And it'll take a bit of time, once you just keep doing it over and over again. At first, even I struggled with a concept like this, but it's something that if you do put in the time and the effort, you'll notice the payback over time. Okay, hope that was a helpful lesson, and if you like this and you want something more like this, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.